And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all for tapping in with us. I mean, old Brian Broaddus is over there. Ain't I mean, I'm Voch Lombardi. I ain't know that. But former Carolina Tar Heel there, North Carolina Tar Heel, former Dallas Cowboy, DLLS, DallasCowboys.com. Jesse Holley's in the building. What's happening, man?
What's up, brothers? What's going on? You know, it must be a cold. This is how you know it's July. This is how you know it's July. When you drag on Jay Holley, out of the shed, when you pull old Jay Holley out and dust him off, like remember back in the day when you had the Nintendo cartridge?
Yeah. downward, yeah.
You gotta get the Nintendo cartridge. They dragged old Jay Holley out of there. That's how you know it's July. And we gotta get this content off. So I'm so glad to finally be in the presence of two people who I respect and admire, doing great things from so many different levels. And not many people have more jobs than me, but Brian Broaddus got.
He got all the. Brian got all the jobs.
I thought I was Jamaican tree jobs. You are the white Jamaican tree jobs. You everywhere. I'm like that brother got to be half Caucasian, half Jamaican.
Got to run the Ponder Radio, eh?
Yeah, you got
Ponder.com.
You are outside for real.
Well, thank you, Jesse. I appreciate that. Really do.
Man, Brian didn't know that me and Jesse went back further than me and Brian Broaddus go back. Once upon a time, I'm gonna say this publicly, Jesse Holley actually kept me in the game. I was having some weird content feelings about content. You ain't a real content creator unless you like almost quit, damn near quit. And boy, we was at Texas Live, and you was doing a show with Will Steele, and Jess was like, "Hey man, don't worry about it. It's gonna happen. You nice. Yep. And you said it 3 times in a row. I was like, all right. Jesse Holley, the first day I met him, shook his hand. He gave me a pep talk and told me I'm nice. And everything's kind of worked out since then. So publicly appreciate you, sir. And thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Listen, I have no problem with giving those who deserve flowers. And just watching you grind, I'm like, this dude nice. And that term, it comes from a therapy session that I had, and my therapist, because even not that I'm this great person, but I need reminders that like, yo, you nice. Like,
sure.
Forget what people say or think or whatever, you nice. Yeah. And whatever space that you in, you nice. Yeah. And so that's why when I told you, that's why I repeated it 3 times, because I wanted you to understand and really hear where I was coming from. That I didn't have to sit there and fill you up with anything. We could have shook hands, had a good time, watched the game, and what about my business, what about your business? But I wanted you to know in that moment, dude, you nice. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn what they talking about. You nice. Keep going, bro. Like, and I give flowers to what flowers are due, and you both of you, but Roch, you are, and we've always had back channel conversations and things, It's just like, yo, it don't have to be every day, but that's just the realness. It don't got to be every day. But when I hit you, I'm like, yo, it's going to be about something positive. It's going to be about a little bread. It's going to be about something. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be on that level. So yeah, absolutely, man. And my much respect goes out to you. And from that content YouTube creator world, you are one of the ones that I highly, highly, highly respect. Now there's some other folks that you intertwine with, but I don't hold that against you. There's some other folks who I wouldn't spit on if their butt was on fire, but you. I don't know the people.
I don't know them people. Jesse Holley, I tell you what, man. We ain't got to talk every day, but I tell you something that you have done. You have built quite the reputation on the internet for being a bit of a pessimist. And me and Brian Broaddus was having this conversation yesterday about Kool-Aid drinking. And boy, Jesse real careful with that Kool-Aid, boy. Jesse do not mess around with all that sugar and color water, boy. Jesse, let me just ask you this. Let me just try to convince you just to take a sip of the Kool-Aid. Voch says this. Schottenheimer has not coached a head coach football game in his life. Never done it. And this ain't like any other first-time head coach situation where, all right, you the new head coach, you'll win 8 games and we'll tell you good job. Shotty got to go to the playoffs and do things in this playoffs because the roster is loaded and, He's surrounded with help and all this kind of stuff. So Shotty's situation a little bit different. I know you got to see it first. You have to see it first. You are from Missouri. Show you first. But Jesse Holley, let me just say this though, man. Let me just say this. Out of all the nonsense the Cowboys have been going through, offensive line coaches don't like his guys. We can't get certain superstars of football. Certain running backs getting favor over other running backs, and the best running back ain't playing. There's been a lot of nonsense over the past couple of years, and the Cowboys still look solid despite that. Jesse, assuming that 4 is healthy and that there's not as much nonsense that there has been, wouldn't you say that the Cowboys have a great opportunity to go to the playoffs, win a playoff game, maybe win another one, Jesse Holley? Sip some Kool-Aid with me, please.
I don't necessarily subscribe to all the Kool-Aid drinking that you're drinking.
All right.
Here's what I will say. Hope springs eternal, and every single year there are 32 other football teams who have the same optimism and Kool-Aid drinking and sipping that you are. Some got a little tequila in it, some might have a little vodka, some may be sugar-free. I don't know. But there are 32 teams in the National Football League who feel like, as we sit presently today, that their team has a chance, that their roster is done well, that their draft was done well, that they've signed some key guys in free agency. They brought their guys back that they wanted to bring back, and the stars in their football team are set, ready to go. Again, with all things being equal and everyone stays healthy, right? There's 32 of them that think that way. There's 32 of them that I can guarantee, as we sit today, think that same exact way. And like you said, I'm from Missouri by way of Roselle, New Jersey. I want to see it because I've been a part of this thing on the field and in the media where I've seen rosters that are far better than the one that we currently have right now. Okay?
Sure.
Far better than the one that we currently have right now. And they didn't do a damn thing with it. And so for me, it's that, yes, I tell people this all the time. I am in the media space, right? And while I do come off at times as a pessimist / realist, nobody wants the Cowboys to win more than me. You know why, Voch? Do you know why? When the Cowboys win,
we all win.
We all win.
We all win.
Yeah.
Win. Okay.
Yeah.
I got mortgage. Yeah. Right. I got car payments. I got car insurance.
Got a dog.
I got a dog who eat better than damn humans.
That's a big dog.
I feed my dog a raw diet. My dog eat chicken legs and chicken gizzards and chicken feet and all that kind of crazy stuff. Yeah. Right. So I want the Cowboys to win, but what I can't do at the end of the day with good conscience is that I got a nice bathroom and it's a really big mirror in there. And I kind of stroll through there every once in a while in that bathroom. Is that I got to look at that dude in the mirror and be real with the dude looking back at me.
Sure.
And so while I want the Cowboys to win, and I can see the thing that they have, yes, adding George Pickens, absolutely great value. Having Dak Prescott healthy, absolutely great value. I'm a huge CeeDee Lamb fan. I think he is a beast. But let's not mistake this thing. There are some holes that still are very present. And we're doing a lot of hoping, right? Will and I, we used to have this kind of running thing. We talked about the kings of comedy, right? And Brian, I don't know if you might pick up on this, but, sometimes white people, right? White folks, they live by the hope creed.
The hope creed.
Right?
Yeah.
Hope. Yeah. I hope everything goes well. We're running a little late. I hope no one is in our seats. Yeah. But us,
we wish
of the melanin complexion, we wish we wish someone would be in our seat, and that's what I'm saying. Like we're doing a lot of hoping, and there's nothing in the last 30 years that can tie the all-season hope that we're having right now because we've seen rosters far better than this.
Sure,
it gets me to believe that this is the one. This is the one that's going to get over the hump of a 30-year drop, because you look across the landscape of what the schedule looks like, other teams that they have to face, and there's some boogeymen that they have. They have to exercise some serious demons throughout the season, and then when you get into the playoffs, that's a whole nother varsity boss, right? That's a whole nother next level of bosses that you have to deal with, and they just haven't been able to get over that hump. And so you're right, call it a pessimist, call it whatever you want, but I got to see it. Yeah. I got to see it. I want it to happen. There's a little hope in me, I want it to happen, but I've been around this thing a little bit too long, both on and off the field, to go, yeah.
It's funny, Jesse, and Voch and I think we try and be real about things too. The Kool-Aid stuff and all that, and what fans might be buying into and stuff. The biggest issues that I have is I'm drinking the Kool-Aid because they got a new staff and it's something different. But I'll put the Kool-Aid down because I don't know how this is all going to work. Right. That's the thing. I've been on staffs before where, okay, we've got players and the coaches haven't delivered, or we don't have players and the coaches delivered. I mean, I've been on both ends of this thing. And that's the thing. I'm excited of anything other than Mike McCarthy and Mike Solari and that whole thing. I just wanted something different. I wanted it different when the coaching thing came open. I wanted a real coaching search. I wanted a lot of things, but my hope is that they could take the George Pickens and the Dak Prescotts and the CeeDee Lambs and do something with it.
Let me ask you this. I know this is your show, but let me ask you a question. Let me ask both of you.
Sure.
You talk about the coaching search, right? And you wanted something different. If Brian Schottenheimer and you can, I want an honest answer here.
Sure.
Did they settle? Did they settle?
They absolutely did, because the way that this front office does hirings is that they tend to, I guarantee, and Voch and I have had this discussion, Jesse, Brian Schottenheimer has been in the building and seen all the F-ups that Mike McCarthy had. Yeah. And he watched Mike McCarthy in a meeting trying to explain to Jerry and Steven why the game plan didn't work that week. He's the one guy that kind of knows what to tell Jerry and Steven. So, this is cool. I guarantee you the first thing he did was go in there and said, I could fix Dak Prescott. Mm-hmm. I could make your $60 million quarterback be at that level that he once was. I have this plan. I have an idea of how I want to do this. And all of a sudden, Jerry and Steven, you work for them. We work. Really? Oh, okay. See, it wasn't the coaching search I wanted, but it's something different from Mike McCarthy, who I know is my age and is thinking about going back to the farmhouse. Yeah. He's not going to try and make that. He's not going to steal ideas. He's not going to watch other teams and how they work and how they operate and how they call plays and try and make his players better. He's going to take what he knows, and when he doesn't know it, he's going to say, wait a minute, explain this to me so I understand it. Mm-hmm. And that's what bothered me the most. I was ready to move on from that. Yeah. But did I get what I wanted out of this? No, I didn't. I didn't get a coaching search. I didn't get, let's talk to 3 or 4 guys. Hey, how serious are you about Ben Johnson? Damn, looks like he just put a ton of shitload of points up on us one day in the Detroit game. Mm-hmm. Why not? Why we're not talking to these guys? And I'm not saying that every young creative coach, because right now they're kicking that guy's ass down there in Miami. Mm-hmm. That guy in Miami went from being like, Mike McDaniel, this guy, man, look what he's bringing to the game. And now we're like, that son of a bitch doesn't know how to coach. Yeah. That's now. So not every young creative coach has it, but I wanted more. But I'll tell you what, the thing that did encourage me about Shotty again, and I'll get off this soapbox, is that he did not hire friends, which is the total opposite of what Mike McCarthy did. Sure. Let's bring in a guy who gave me my first opportunity with the Saints. Let me bring in a guy at San Francisco who I coached with that, coached during the Tom Landry administration. Let me, it never was going to advance. There was sometimes it was, well, this is pretty good. And then other times it's like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. And so that's the issues that I have right now. I don't know what's going to happen with Schottenheimer. I really, really, really don't. I don't.
Also, sometimes it ain't about Shotty being the best guy. It's just he was just dirty macking at the right time. You know what I mean? And I know exactly what to do with Dak Prescott. You mean to tell me that this last cat didn't know what to do with Dak Prescott? Let me show you what I'm gonna do with Dak Prescott. Oh, you mean to tell me what you mean? You paid Mike McCarthy all this money. He couldn't get Turpin involved. Let me show you how I'm gonna get Turpin involved. And sometimes it's just about the dirty macking. And if you shoddy and you've been around the situation and you kind of know how the Joneses operate, his opening line may have been, man, look, I know y'all don't want to start all the way over with some new guy. Look, I've been here. The guys know me. The guys love me. And watch me lean on my coordinators. That's what I've been saying the past couple of months, Jesse. Sirianni and them, I don't know what he does well. I don't know what he good at. But his best trait seems to be leaning on Kellen, leaning on Shane, leaning on Fangio, leaning on Jonathan Gannon, right? Yeah. And he's seen success leaning on those guys. I don't know what the hell Sirianni do on his own. If Schottenheimer just leans on Clayton Adams, he leans on Flus, I think you can see success, or we can go in the right direction by simply leaning on those guys.
See, the difference is with that is Voch is when you look at what Shoddy when this is your first gig, right? It's hard. Like it's if this is my first baby. Okay, a mother with her first baby, she just ain't giving the baby over to anybody.
Yeah,
right. You just say, hey, honey, we need to go out on a date. Who gonna watch the baby? Just anybody can't watch my newborn.
Yeah.
You know, it has to be someone that I actually trust because this is my first one. Mm-hmm. You know, now you get the kid 3, 4, and 5, and it's like, hell, I don't care. Anybody watch them. I'm getting out of here. I'm going out on a date, right? And so for Shoddy, it has to be a mixture of this is my first rodeo, and I believe this is just Jesse Holley. I believe that this is going to be a very short leash for Brian Schottenheimer. I know that the Jones like to fire people and play people, but I do believe that he's not going to have a 4 or 5 year leash. Where if things don't go right early on, I think Jerry will look across at some guys and be like, "Hold on now, like now, Junior and Steven and you guys, you told me this was going to be the guy that's going to get us in the right direction." And it ain't quite working out. I may go a different direction. So I think Shoddy this is what makes it a very complex situation. You know the outside noise is going to be crazy. It's the Dallas Cowboys, right? And then now I'm trying to set a precedent on what I am going to be as a head coach. Never done it before, been an assistant for a very long time. I'm feeding off a lot of the people that I've coached with before and mentored before, my daddy and all the coaches that have been around that. But also to your point, Voch, is all right, let me try to lean on to my assistants as well. And it's a very, very delicate and fine line to toe when you're talking about that. I remember years ago, I think it was a Hard Knocks when it was Hugh Jackson became the head coach. And they did a behind the scenes, and they were having a meeting, and it was some guys were missing practice due to injury or what have you. And it might have been like Todd Haley or somebody. He's like, man, this dude's full of crap and da-da-da. And he's like, listen, Todd, I get it. I sat in your seat before. But we rush him back and he gets hurt again. Now that's on me. Now I don't have this guy for the long term. And so it's like, it's that delicate balance of I have to call this thing my way and do things my way, because when they go to start, this ship either sinks or sails, that's going to be on the shoulders of me. So it's like I take input, but I filter it through. This is how I want to run things as well. And I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all, because this is my show. And I may only get one time to do this. I mean, he's been in this league forever, and this is his first time as a head coach. So it's gonna be very, very interesting. And this, as you guys know, this isn't like being in Jacksonville or Cleveland.
No.
Or somewhere else. You know, the highs are the highs, but the lows are the lows. Yeah. And coming out the gates, there has to be success early and in a major way, or you're going to see this thing get ugly. It's going to get ugly if you not success early on in this football season for Brian Schottenheimer and his staff.
Jesse, as a former player, though, in the locker room, everything is really kumbaya right now. We've got ping pong. We got guys tweeting that we're happy, we love football again and all that. How long does that really, really last? I mean, and you mentioned if things –
until the bullets start flying. You know that, B. Yeah. this is the kumbaya time, right? Everyone's getting to know each other. Nothing can go wrong. What can go wrong right now? We're in shorts and t-shirts. We're having, meat church, got the football size grill out there. We're doing paintball. We got fruit salad, and you know what I'm saying? Everything's great. The vibes are up, right? The vibes are up. But when it matters, see, nothing matters right now. Incomplete pass, it's okay. We're fine. You know what I'm saying? There's no wins and losses on the ledger right now. Bad day of practice, it doesn't matter. Oh, but when those bullets start flying, and now there are some things that are truly on the line. Legacies are on the line. Contracts are on the line. Bonuses are on the line. Jobs are on the line. That's when those bones. That when they get a little tight. You know what I'm saying? And guys start really now looking at one another, and start saying, "Man, do your job. No, do your job. No, do your job." Right. We all know that winning cures all. Right? Winning covers a multitude of sins. But it's when you don't. And that's the biggest thing. It's when you don't, for this franchise, a anthill becomes Mount Everest. And everything starts to spiral out of control. And that's one of the things when you talk about the 53 brands that the Cowboys have and the 53 different personalities, is that when things aren't going right, you're already getting it from the media. Now you got guys doing this and guys doing that. Any little thing that they say, and that's what creates things that get stirred up from the inside. But right now, everything is fine. Everything is fine. It doesn't start happening until Thursday Night Football in Philadelphia. That's when it happens. That's when this training camp, OTAs and mini camp. Yeah, we're good. We're happy. We're good. I love everybody. I'm not mad at anybody. It's when the bullets start flying and wins and losses start getting tallied up, and now somebody has to answer for them.
Sure. Jesse, in terms of getting these guys on the field, deciding who's on the field, who's going to sit down, who's going to play more, I know in high school and college, like seniority weighs a good bit. The best guy kind of going to play, but seniority matters a lot too. Hey, man, this is a senior, been working hard for 4 years. He ain't never missed practice. I can't just sit him down because some character, you know what I mean? Does that still weigh as heavy when you get to the pros and, it's just because a guy's been there and he's making his money, but there may be a young player that the fan base is maybe screaming for, Brian and Voch may be screaming for. Does that matter, Jesse? Please.
Big bank take little bank.
The money matters.
Always in the National Football League, in the NBA, in MLB, in NHL, and any pro sport where money is involved. Big bank always take little bank. If the guy who makes the most money gets the most opportunities. I can tell you, and Brian can tell you, and just from your eyes watching, there have been tons of teams that I've been a part of where the best guy wasn't playing.
Wow.
There's been tons of teams. You be like, he really shouldn't be playing over this dude.
Yeah.
But he was the first one to the bank.
Right.
And because he was the first one to the bank, I ain't putting X amount of dollars on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't putting X amount of dollars on the bench. Now, we'll try to find other ways to incorporate that dude.
Yeah.
But dudes who, now, if we're talking about relatively close contracts, we're talking about $1 million or $2 off, cool. That's not that. The better dude is going to play.
Yeah.
But when you win the 20s and you win the 30s, and the other dude who might be better is in the 2s and 3s and 4 millions, and no, it's just not happening. That's just the nature of the beast.
How do you see then it play out then for Guyton? Because it seems to be that Guyton last year, Voch and I have talked about this. The coaches said, listen, we're trying to fight for our jobs. We're not going to play Guyton. But how does that work for a guy who's into his second year, but maybe your North Carolina guy, maybe Awesome Richards shows a little bit of some jump. Voch believes if it's even 60-40 Awesome Richards and Guyton, they're still going to play Guyton over that. How do you feel about that situation?
Just riff at. Let me ask it like this. How much better does the bench guy have to be than the projected starter guy, whether it's first round pick or whether it's big money guy? How much better does the bench guy have to be?
See, in this situation, it's because you're talking about the guy that's protecting your most expensive guy.
Sure.
Right? And so for Tyler Guyton is when the money comes into play or the round comes into play, he's going to get the first nod.
Yeah.
That's happening. But if he goes out there and he has a Chaz Green situation and Dak is sacked 4 times, whoa. Code red. Change the plans. Abort. We have to make changes because though he makes more money and his draft pick status may be higher, he's going to get the guy who, if we lose him, we're done.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn. Joe Milton can light himself on fire and throw 70-yard passes on air. You lose Dak Prescott, season's done. Okay? Season's done. And so that's the one place where if a guy can't protect your greatest asset, then we have to look at ways to correct that. But he's going to get the first nod. He's going to get the first chance and opportunity to do so because of the draft status. And Brian, as a former scout, you understand just how much is put into that, right? How much energy and effort is put into a guy going first round and being the first round pick. They give those guys ample opportunities to show. I mean, hell, look at Mazi Smith, right? We're still
that's what I was going to ask. If Jay Toa is a better player than Mazi Smith, as a scout, and Voch and I've had this discussion, I can't in good conscience sit there and say, "Oh, we've got to protect the draft."
No.
We're trying to win football games, and there's departments that don't do it that way. They're going to keep playing Mazi and keep playing, even though they're not good enough.
I think Mazi. I think if you use a Mazi for an example, I think and this is, and I also want to say this. I want people to understand a lot of times that when I talk about a player, I'm talking about the player's performance.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the man.
For sure.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
The man Mazi. I'm talking about the player Mazi. And those are two very distinct things that when we discuss these type of situations. I'm not talking about Tyler Guyton, the man.
Yeah, we don't know.
I'm talking about Tyler Guyton, the player. And when you sign up to play in this league, this ain't Pop One, it's the big boy league. We judge and critique your play. Now, if the man start doing some wild stuff, we judge the man. Yeah. But the player, we're talking about the player. So, like for a guy like Mazi, you've had your chance, right? You've had multiple opportunities to show, and we've given you ample opportunities to show. We moved you around. We add some pieces in there, rotation. We, 2-3 coaches that have been in here. You're done, right? You don't show up, and a guy like Jay Toya comes in and he's playing at a level greater than you, and then we're gonna move forward with that, right? But for Guyton, he's in that realm of still a little. This is the hope. This is the Kool-Aid. This is the Kool-Aid right here. You're bringing Tyron Smith to work with them, and which, by the way, let me just say this. By the way, okay, let me just a little sidebar, right? You guys been around this game long enough. Someone who's Brian, and you've been inside the building, and Voch, you are one of the best at looking at things in the totality. When dudes talk about dudes, the conversation is different.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When dudes start giving me when dudes start giving me coach speak, I'm out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if I'm a dude and he's a dude, like for example, you brought it up earlier. I consider myself a dude.
Yeah.
When I saw a dude in Voch, I was like, "Yo, you nice." I didn't say, "Well, Voch, there's potential." There's potential.
You're gonna work hard. You're gonna figure out these 3 things. It's gonna come to you naturally.
Nah, I say, "Yo, you nice."
Yeah.
When a dude talks to another dude, when you hear other players talk about other players, it's very distinct.
They make noise. They make noise. Just they go. They go. Hey. They start pointing. They start pointing this. Yeah.
Hey, young fella. Young fella. Go.
Yeah.
When you start talking about, the technique is right.
Yeah.
And if his feet are at a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
And
he'll be fine.
The grass is cut. It's Bermuda grass.
He'll be all right.
If the grass is Bermuda,
he'll figure it out.
And if the cleats are mids and not highs, this thing may work. No, dude, don't talk like that. And Tyron is a dude. Tyron is a dude, right? So dudes talk about dudes.
Because Jesse, because when they talk about Booker, they go, "Hey, That boy strong. that boy strong.
When they talk about Tyler Smith, they be like, ooh, young fella, hey, that boy put his hands on you now. That boy put his hands on you now. They don't talk in the coach speak. When dudes get into that coach speak, I'm trying to find things to say. When, like, you guys know, when a dude talks about a dude, it's different. Yeah, hey, young fella gonna be young fella, right? Come on, man. Yeah. So those type of things I look at, I'm always trying to this is the Tyron knows. Tyron can put horse in the mouth and know, right? He knows. He knows.
Jesse, what about Jerry coming out and talking about Diggs and how he attacked or lack of his rehab last year? As in the locker room, how does players take that when the general manager comes out and basically says, do the players already know that, listen, maybe this guy's not putting in the time, or man, the general manager's out of bounds on this one?
No, this is Jerry meeting you where you are. Okay. This is this how these young kids operate. They operate in the media. They don't the days of having that man-to-man conversation.
Sure.
Like the days of, hey, come sit down. You talk to me face to face. Like that's a foreign concept to these younger players. Everything they do it's tied to this. Yeah. It's tied to the phone, right? It's social media. It's through a pod. It's through cryptic messages and photos and all that kind of stuff. And I thought Jerry just met him where he was at. He's like, you know what? I'm not happy with the way this went.
Right.
And I get the reports. And you know it. I get the reports from what it was with Britt Brown. And Britt is never going. The thing about Britt Britt's one of my favorites, right?
Me too.
Jimbo down there, they're not going to make stuff up.
No.
Those guys are going to show up every single day and say, here's what we have to do. Line it out for you. Now, you got to do your part. And when you don't do your part, Britt goes on to the next guy. I'm not going to beg you to be a professional, right? And if that's the case, that report, as you know, Brian, every single day there's a meeting, okay? Every single day there's a meeting, and hey, give me the report from the trainers.
Right.
Hey, Mike McCord, Bucky, what the field look like? What we wearing today? What's the game plan for the week? You know, hey, coach, what the practice schedule look like? Every single day. What's in the cafeteria for lunch today? There is a meeting every single day. And so they bring these reports back. And I'm sure that they got message back to Trevon somehow, some way. But then Jerry goes, all right, I gotta meet him where he's at, because this is how they communicate. They don't communicate anymore with come see me, come talk to me. They communicate through this. And so for Jerry, he's just like, man, listen, I pay you a lot of money, right? I pay you a lot of money, and I expect certain things from you. And hurt assets aren't good assets. Right. I always want ROI. I want a return on my investment. And if the return on my investment is you're not rehabbing right, like showing up to rehab, that's nothing to do with talent. That's just coming here and doing what you're supposed to do. And it resulted in you now being off the field. I'm paying you a price. In return, this is the American way, right? This is the barter system, the exchange of goods and services. I give you a price, you give me a price, I pay you the price. In return, you give me a service. And when you don't give me a service because of injury, and then now I set up a way for you to get back from that injury, and you don't follow those instructions, we have a problem, because you're still cashing my checks.
Jesse, do you think that moving forward, when these teams are evaluating these players, talking to these players, college, they millionaires already, they got social media teams already. Yeah, I mean, do you think that that these teams are going to dig a little deeper into character and just not even draft these guys? Because me and Brian and the draft show team did a ton of work this draft, and some guys that we liked a lot ended up being 7th-round picks, or they didn't get drafted. And when we talk to the source guys with the multiple cell phones, they'll say, oh, well, character. Oh, this team says character. This coach got him down as character guy. So I wonder, are coach is gonna look at that a little bit deeper? Tyler Booker 12th overall pick. Some people may disagree that he should have gone there, maybe whatever. But when you talk to him and listen to him and dig into his character, they go, hey, man, I don't see this dude bailing on us character-wise. So he's worth more to us than somebody that may be more talented but more of a headache as well.
Yeah, I think it's evolution, right? You have to adjust. And this is and B, don't take this the wrong way.
Sure.
This is when you kind of have to rotate some of the old farts out of the building.
Yeah.
You kind of get
absolutely. No, absolutely. Yeah.
The newer, younger guys in there, because you're facing a different breed. The breed has changed. Yeah. And what used to be character, right? Back in the day, 10, 15, 20 years ago, character used to be, this dude might choke the hell out you.
Yeah.
Right? That used to be, this dude.
He be drinking. He be drinking.
Yeah. He be drinking. Right? That used to be the character issues. Yeah. Now it's this dude sensitive.
He don't want to come to practice. He can't take feedback. Yeah. He's not coachable.
You yell at this dude, he goes into a shell. Yeah. This dude, I wouldn't want to be a college football coach in today's world if my life depended on it. Yeah. Imagine me being a wide receiver coach and they're paying me $300,000 a year, and I'm trying to discipline the kid. I'm trying to discipline Jeremiah Smith.
Millions.
Yeah. Good luck. Yeah. Good luck, coach. Good freaking luck. Is the kid sitting in my film room and I'm pulling up on the film. Hey, bro, you can't loaf on the back. Not saying that he does this, but you can't loaf on the backside. Hey, we need you to hold this safety on the backside. That's why you got to run this, for the love of the game route right here. I know you want to get the ball, but this one's going to be for love of the game right here. So we get the other play open right here. He'll be like, man, throw me the ball. I ain't running hard. Yeah. $5 million.
Yeah.
It's $5 million dude. I make $300,000. Yeah. I'm the replaceable one now. I've become the replaceable one. And so these are the kids that are now coming into the league. These are the kids now who, cyberbullying became a thing for them, right? Like a place where you can close that. We came up where you really had to go the other way because the real bully was on that block. You had to walk the long way so you didn't run to the bully. It wasn't no closing the app. Yeah. These kids now, if you talk too bad about them on the internet, they go into a shell and all that kind of stuff. So the character issues have changed. And if your coaches and your evaluators and your scouting people, if they aren't changing with the evaluations and how they're looking at these kids, and now you find yourself in a situation where, the kid's super talented, but he's fragile, and you can't be fragile in this league, right? Right. We're talking about the Cowboys. It's tough to be fragile for this franchise. So a pick like Tyler Booker, I look at that and I go, this is a dude who has his head on right, who is the character part of it is he's not easily swayed. He's not emotionally irregulated. He understands the magnitude of every situation, and he's able to intelligently, both mentally, physically, and emotionally deal with it. Instead of having a kid who is, I'll tell you this, and I won't say the name. You probably there's a guy on the roster right now. Okay, there's a guy on the roster right now who talk about character. Right, he's a good kid. His family's an issue.
Sure,
his family's an issue. A headache. It was that way in college, and it's that way now in the league. Good kid, could be a player for this football team. Family's a headache.
Yeah.
Like that's the part. Family's a headache. They want their hands into the business. They got their hands in the things that they shouldn't be having their hands into right now. Now, imagine you trying to deal with the player that's on your roster that you're trying to make, what's called, plays with and build with and try to grow with, but you're dealing now with family.
Yeah. Hey, Jesse, you've dealt with the Joneses. The Joneses very, very well. How pissed is Stephen Jones that he's painted himself in a corner on these contracts and his inability to really negotiate with anybody?
Has he though? Isn't this their way?
I think Stephen Jones knows now by the way that they've done these contracts through the years that all agents have to do if you're a high-end player is wait them out.
Yeah, but you can change the narrative though, right? Like,
he can't change because if and this is why I say this. And I think the other day, several weeks ago, they asked him and he says, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about Micah's contract. I don't want to talk about this. I think that's the point right there where Stephen Jones had enough that he knows that agents don't have to return his call. Agents don't have to negotiate with him in a timely manner. There's no back and forth. The one thing that Jones, I feel like, are good at is when they're business and it's a business relationship, they can negotiate. Yeah. Right now, I think Stephen Jones feels like that he's been completely neutered as a negotiator because agents know that if Micah Parsons sits there on the sidelines at training camp for 3 weeks and we talk about it every day and it turns into, well, now we got to get it done and let's finally talk and we got to get him on the field and all that. Agents just wait him out. They don't have to. Zeke did it. Martin did it. Lamb did it. Dak just basically waited him out too. Micah Parsons, I believe, is in a situation with David Mulugeta that he's telling Micah, listen, I know you want to jump into practice. Yeah. I know you want to be that guy. I know you want to participate. For God's sake, don't do it. Yep. Don't do anything. Just stand there and watch. Because what's ultimately going to happen is Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones are going to get tired of us in the media talking about it every day. They're going to get tired. And the only way that they could do this, the only way to change their fortunes is to do something with the Micah Parsons contract. Whether it's like wait him out and say, okay, we're going to franchise tag you, or we're going to, or we're going to trade you, or we're going to do something else. But to me, Stephen Jones, they can't negotiate anymore. And it's because the way that they've actually negotiated over the years has put them in the spot.
They made this bid. No one
absolutely did. Absolutely did. And I think that's why Stephen Jones, I think Stephen Jones is usually very much like, listen, contracts, we're going to try and work with Micah, He came out and says, I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. Don't want to talk about it. Don't want to talk about it. You know why? Because he painted himself in a corner and he knows there's no way out of that corner right now. That's his problem.
Now, for the Joneses going forward, all right, let's start changing the course, right? Let's start doing things in the modern time. Like, today, right? Today, Tyler Smith is getting ready to be up. Like, his deal's getting ready to be up.
Yeah.
Don't wait. Right? Like start attacking that today. Yeah. Like the other teams, like the other really good teams.
Bland. Absolutely. Bland,
that's these things because what happens is now, if Tyler Smith goes back this season and I think he will become another Pro Bowl, maybe another first team Pro Bowl, right? Guess what? That's today's price. It's not today's price. The price of the brick done gone up, right?
Yeah.
So now you're back at it again, and you go, and God forbid that this whole Tyler Guyton thing don't work out. Yeah. You don't have a left tackle, and now your left guard is holding out too. Your 2-3-time Pro Bowl left guard is holding out, arguably top 1, 2, or 3 guard in the league. Mm-hmm. Oh boy! Now guess what? Guess when you find yourself you're back in the corner again. And now you fold to the demands of the best players on your football team. If you start attacking this thing, if you would have come to Osa a year ago, you would have got Osa probably half the price. Yeah. Right? Like if you felt he was going to be a part of this thing, you would have got him for half the price than what you paid him this time around. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that the way that they go about it, they pen themselves in a corner, and now they're going to have to do something very drastic. I would not advise you do drastic anything with Micah Parsons. Like, don't make that dumb mistake. Okay, this is dude you want on the football field. This is you don't want him not on the football field. Yeah. But now, drastic times calls for drastic measures. So you have to change the course of the way people see you. Listen, if that's the way that they see you, they're going to keep treating you like that.
I think they're going to continue to get treated like this.
Ooh.
I really do. I don't see them draw. I don't see them drawing the line. What motivation do top end players for the Cowboys have to go early? They caught a favorable deal. They caught they see it as favorable because they were probably thinking that Oso Diesel wasn't going to be here. They're probably thinking, well, but they caught an agent that was favorable. They caught a player that wanted to do the deal. All these other agents are like the David Mulugetas, Todd Francis. Watch what happened. Watch what Todd France does with the kicker. Watch Brandon Aubrey become a $7 million kicker. Watch this.
Yeah,
that's how this is. That
was part of Osa's situation. Osa had a very green, I was called green, but he didn't have the cachet of the David Malugetta and the Todd France of the world. So it's like,
and it's not a problem if that's who you feel comfortable with. It's not a problem. Not a problem. Right. Not a problem at all. But Steven,
it's also like, all right, David Malugetta is one of the top agents in the league, so you can play around with Michael Parsons and you'll need more of my guys, and I will need more of my guys. So. Jerry plays the whole, what's his name? What's the guy's name? I don't know the agent's name. Okay, cool. That's fine.
I'll be damned.
You'll know it when
I'll give Jerry a pass on that. I don't think he wanted to pronounce David Mulugetta's name. I don't think he wanted a soundbite of him effing up David Mulligan. I don't think he wanted that. I don't think.
What'd you say, Matt Chuck? What'd you say?
Yeah. I think Jerry. Yeah,
I agree.
Jesse Holley, I must say, explosive episode, sir. Shake my hand. They appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for coming through to the Doing All Right. Yeah, what I mean? Huh? What's that?
That's it. We done.
Hey, this thing didn't went a little longer than we thought. You know what I mean? But we appreciate you for blessing us. You know what I'm saying? Now, Jess, let me say. Over at Crown Global Media, we're actually, building this in-person thingamajig. And if you ever want to come by the studio, you know what I'm saying? We got some nice water and snacks and some comfortable chairs. If you want to come sit in with us one day, we'll love to have you, sir, in the studio at the campus.
I don't know if this is an invitation or an invitation.
Of course, that's what it is. It's gonna be barbecue there. You know what I mean?
Well, we'll figure something out, Jess. You know how that works. We'll always figure something out, right?
I don't know if this is an invitation or an invitation.
It's an invitation. It's an invitation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, Jess.
Listen.
Hey, by the way, man, you don't ever say your July radio. Don't ever say that, man. I mean, hey, we had Brad Sham we had Brad Sham 2 weeks ago.
Will Steele last week.
We had Will Steele. Now, we're going through the people that know this stuff. So thank you so much for being a part of it.
Right there. Me, Will Steele, Brad Sham. That's a July line. No, I'm messing with you guys. It's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure to be on with you guys, man. I am a fan of both Voch. You and Brian, you guys.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
And I
thank you.
I can say because I don't respect a lot of dudes. I respect you two gentlemen. I respect.
Thank you, man.
I respect.
Feelings mutual, very mutual. Thank you, man.
And I love the fact that, and this is, I'm always a fan of people who are who you are. Like don't switch up because you around certain people, or you trying to be you, and you dudes are authentic. And I appreciate that, and I love that, and that's who I'm always going to be, and that's who I want to be around. That's who I want to work with. That's who I want to jump on shows. There's some shows that people are like, hey man, come on. I'm like, nah. And I'm not saying that I'm that guy. I'm not that dude. But nah. I don't respect you enough. You're a little bit too fugazi for me. You one way with this person and one way with that person. That I don't come from that call.
Two-faced is what they call it. Two-faced.
Yeah. I can't. I like dudes like you. You dudes. When they ask me about you dudes, Hey, that boy Voch nice. That boy Voch nice. Hey, but listen, you better bring your A game. You go up against Brian. You better bring it, because if not, you're gonna get your tail headed to you. You're gonna get your tail headed to you something serious, and it ain't gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna
Thank
be
you,
fun.
man.
I respect what you do, man. And anytime you'd have me as a guest, I would more than gladly be ready to join.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
DallasCowboys.com. Jesse Holley Unfiltered. We still doing that?
Yeah, let me listen, because I gotta
Yeah,
please.
I'm trying to catch Brian Broaddus. But
Please.
we got Unfiltered with Jesse Holley.
Okay.
We got Believe in the Cowboys on the Believe Network. We got DallasCowboys.com. We got my main job. We got All City. We got DLS Cowboys podcast. I'll be doing some things this summer with Compass Media, some stuff like that. You never know. I may get invited to the Crown. What is it called? The Crown
Global Media.
Crown Global Media, the Doing All Right podcast.
I'm just saying, TBD. You know what I'm saying? That may get, so yeah, I'm outside. The checks are clear.
There you go. That's what I hear.
Jesse got all the jobs. Appreciate you, sir. Y'all be sure to tap in with him on all of his socials as well. Doing all these shows, he ain't say nothing about his social media that he be going crazy on.
My social I got one social. Okay. Mr. Fourth and Long. Where you can find me. Mr. MR number 4 TH and Long. Mr. Fourth and Long. Come see me. I talk back. I talk back. I'll only block you for a couple of reasons. If you purposely put an I on my name, if you talk about my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ,
can't do it.
And if you cuss at me, that's it. That's it. Everything else, I'm mature enough to go. Cool, you got it. But you do one of those three things, then exit left.
Mr. Fourth and Long. Y'all can catch me at Voch Lombardi, and y'all can sub to this. I'm trying to get to 100,000. I need 400 more of y'all to go ahead and sub, and we'll be at the 100,000. Get my little plaque, and I'll retire on time. Hey,
no checks clearing. Let's go. No checks clearing. 100,000. No checks is clearing.
What you want me to say? We in demand. You feel me? What you want me to say?
Let's go.
You know what I mean? We in demand. And that's Brian Broaddus over there. Y'all want to have Brian Broaddus or something. But I'm about to get 100. You feel me?
But Brian's still spinning them green $100 bills. He ain't got the blue ones. He got them green $100 bills.
It all work. It all folds. Quiet money. We need the kind that folds. You hear me? We love y'all to pieces. Thank y'all so much for tapping into the Doing All Right. We'll catch y'all next time. All right? Crown.